Welcome to another TV with the brand new Lenovo Yoga IdeaPad 11S. In an unboxing we have here the orange version. You can see that we have not that beautiful box here on the outside, but of course inside there's another box where we have the device itself. This is just for protective reasons, but of course it's shipping. You can even see we have a handle on top, which is quite nice of course. On one side, it's on the right side, you can also see that we have some technical details, for example, there is an Intel Core i7 inside. It's still an Ivy bridge. It's not sure when the Haswell version will come out, but we have 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of SSD space, which is of course quite nice, and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4, an HD display, 4-cell battery, and Windows 8 installed here on this Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11S. It's already on the market, I think, starting at $8.99. Here in Germany you can buy it with an Intel Core i3 processor, but it's actually usually totally fine for anything you want to do on the web and in Office or anything like that. And there's actually Office 2013 pre-installed with 1 month of usage that you can where you can try out the new Office. So let's see what we have inside the box. You should not mix this up with the Lenovo Yoga 11, which is same looking, but we have an NVIDIA Tegra processor inside there with Windows RT. RT means that you have less apps and you cannot install actually regular Windows apps that have the .exe file ending, so you should watch out for that. But there we have a battery life of 12 hours. Here we have about 6 hours or 7 hours with the Intel Core i7 Ivy bridge. That's what I have been seeing here on the device in the last few hours when I was using it. I just reboxed it so you guys can see what we will find inside the box. So you can see, as I mentioned, we have a beautiful black box where we have here the orange device and here a little bit already a teaser what we can expect from the display to rotate. You probably already have seen what kind of display rotations you can do with the Yoga. You can see it on the side again in little pictures. We have the regular notebook mode, tent mode, tablet mode, and I have no clue what the last one is called, but that's where you actually just put it on the table the other way around, so you can just see the display itself. It's, for example, nice if you are in an airplane and you don't have so much space to lean back the display, but I will show you that in just a second, of course. First, let's see what we have inside the box. Quick starter guide. It's of course important for first ever users of Windows 8 and other softwares. Then we have here the notebook itself. It's not a boring device, I'm just tired because I had a long day, I'm sorry guys. So you can see beautiful orange device, rubberish feeling on the outside and on the bottom also. I will show you a little bit a comparison to the Asus ZenBook that we have also here with 13 inch, so you can get a feeling of how big the device is also. Let me just put it down for a second to show you what we have in the last box, which is of course here some power, a little bit of a power adapter of course also. Right here. Actually, we'll just take this whole thing out. So you can see we have this big end here for the second cable, and this tiny little PSU for your power conversion to get your notebook 2.25 ampere power at 20 volts. Of course you get 2 ampere also with the standard USB chargers nowadays, but not at 20 volts, it's 5 volts, so that's a big difference here. You should learn that in physics, that there's of course a difference between all of these names and numbers. So we have here the beautiful notebook. Again, let me put the box down, where we have a lot of ports. Let me get a little bit closer for that to the screen, so you can see here. Let me switch maybe to manual focus, so we have the device in focus, not the background. So we have a headphone microphone plug right there, USB 3, HDMI, then also here some speakers. Again, volume rocker. On the front there's a recovery button, on and off switch, battery control, LED, 2 microphones here for conference calls and so on, Skyping. On this side there's a display rotation lock, speaker again, USB 2.0, SD card reader dummy, which of course lets you put in a standard SD also. This just protects the hole here from dust, for example, and we have the power. On the back we have here the possibility to give the device a little bit of air so it can cool itself, and on the bottom we have some rubber feet also in orange, the Windows logo right there, and you could even maybe take the device apart by unscrewing all these little tiny button screws, but you should not try that, I would say, but yeah, maybe we will try it. So if we open up the device, you can see it's already on. As I said, I used it a little bit before and you can right away see it, and I hit the Windows button. It looks quite good, even though we are, let me hit it there. Even when we are outdoors, this screen is nicely visible, I would say right away. And we have of course also a beautiful keyboard, which is once again here in English, finally, for you guys from America or the UK. This is of course perfect, since this is how you will see the device also when it comes to your market. In Germany usually it's a little bit different, but you can see it's quite nice. The FN buttons are now switched, so you have to press FN if you want the F4 key. A lot of people will like that, since they use most often the mute button, and they won't use that often the Alt F4 combination. So you can see also on the bottom we have a big trackpad still, so you don't have to only use the touchscreen. And otherwise you can already also see that I did this, which is a 180-degree mode of the yoga. A lot of notebooks can do that, but what they can't is go beyond the 180 degrees. So I could just put it down on the table like this. In the tent mode, I could put it also on the table like that. In an airplane, for example, which is of course quite nice. I can completely do this, and then you can see that we have here the nice tablet mode, and with this about 1 kilo device this is also quite good. And the display rotates also, of course in this pre-production device not perfectly right now, but it's working otherwise quite nicely anyway. And if you're already here in Windows 8, let me actually go here to the camera, where we can just right away see here the beautiful front camera, which is quite fast and sharp also. Especially you will see a lot when I hold up the display a bit higher. Otherwise here the display is nicely visible also from the side. It's not getting darker from the bottom or top either, so this is a nice IPS display, but we have to check out in the direct sunlight back there how it looks like. So above, when you go beyond the 180 degrees, the keyboard will actually turn off, and you have no trouble of pressing any buttons when you're there. Of course now I'm not beyond the 180 degrees, so I can just look for apps when I hit the buttons. But otherwise, feeling wise, here the device, we have quite a nice rubberish feeling here on the front, which is a little bit like leather, but of course it's not real leather. So if I go here back to my chair and show you here the size comparison to Asus device, for example, we have here the Ultrabook ZenBook. It's I think 2 years old now. Let's just put here the 11-inch Yoga on top, so you can see here the difference between an 11-inch device and a 13-inch device in terms of the size. There's quite a difference, 2 fingers and 1 finger, and otherwise here in thickness they are actually about the same. I have to stand up for that again.